Welcome back to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm Brian.
No, I'm Brian. No, I'm just
Wait a
kidding.
minute.
I'm Dan.
Hey, time out. Yeah. Our next guest is Mary Gleason, who will be talking to us about how intuition coaching can help you make better decisions at work and elsewhere. Mary Gleason is a nonprofit consultant. What is it, nonprofit or not for profit? There's a big difference.
You can say them either way, but legally there's a hair difference.
Well, I know people that run, never mind. This is my shot at humor.
Yeah,
So
some nonprofits are even legal.
Yeah. Intuition coach, hypnotherapist, and psychic medium.
Mm-hmm.
The most satisfying work she can think of is how to show people how to fully embrace their intuition and value it as an equal partner when making decisions along with the hard data executives rely on. Mary will tell you that not everyone is psychic, but we all are intuitive. Mary has lived in the Puget Sound area since 1987 and has been a nonprofit executive for over 30 years. Welcome to the show, Mary.
Thank you so much.
So please tell us, what are some of your hobbies and interests?
Hobbies, I don't do hobbies, but I love to travel, and I enjoy a really good workout, and I'm writing a book, excuse me, and my favorite thing is a really good story well told.
There you go.
That's my favorite thing.
Where do you like to travel?
Just about anywhere.
Okay.
Not to China right now.
Not to China right now. That's on hold.
Yeah.
That's on hold. And I hope they get that figured out, though.
I
So
know.
It's kind of a bummer for them. So, Mary, we like to ask our guests to kind of go back memory lane and share with us a fond memory of the home you grew up in.
It absolutely has to be the front porch. We spent our summers out on that porch, and so did all the neighbors, and we would set up a small living room on that front porch, and we
funny.
would communicate down the street, up and down the porches.
Where was this at?
Rochester, New York.
Okay. Are these brownstones with?
No,
Front
they
porches?
were just small Sears Roebuck
Yeah.
homes that
Really? Cool.
people
Wow.
crafted after the war and after World War I, and it was just wonderful.
Kids playing in the street till it gets dark.
Absolutely, and trees so big that they fell into canopy, so it really had to rain hard for the rain to
wow.
hit the street.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
funny.
Loved it.
So what can someone expect? Actually, I jumped the gun there. What is an intuition coach?
So an intuition coach is somebody who can help you get in touch with your intuition. And you'll hear people talk from time to time about the head or the heart or, getting the chills or whatever, but they don't always listen to it, and they don't always understand what that message is. They know they felt it, but they don't know how to interpret it. So people will tell you, oh, you're an intuitive coach. And I'll say, well, yes, I'm intuitive, but I'm an intuition coach. This is about you.
Yeah.
So tell us a story about when you were inspired to kind of put these coaching practices into work with executives.
One of the big things I work on is fundraising consulting with nonprofits.
Interesting.
And I have to work with the whole executive team, and I would hear from one CEO after another that they did not have time to get out and do what they needed to do in the community because they were chained to their desk. And after the umpteenth time of hearing that, I challenged one of those executives to say, what's on your desk that's more important? And there was a pattern that quickly formed, which is bad decisions, personnel issues, programs that didn't work, things that board members didn't understand, that they had to keep putting out fires. It was not work that moved the agency forward. And so I started doing little exercises that said, okay, pick one. Let's just pick one. Hold that in your hand, close your eyes, and let's take a journey with that one thing. And this particular person picked a human resource issue with somebody, and I said, when did you first know you shouldn't hire that person? And after a few minutes of just sort of closing their eyes and regressing, they went, before I hired them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But
knew,
they
yeah.
had the perfect resume. They had perfect references. Everything was in line. I said, but your gut was telling you, keep looking. Why didn't you? And so that I've been doing this informally for a long time. I've decided it's a big enough issue to carve it out and offer it not just to nonprofits, but to anybody who needs to make better decisions that are going to move your business forward and not keep you stuck.
That's good.
That is. So what can someone expect when working with you?
So I've designed a program that goes over 3 in-person visits, or we can do this by video conference call. I have a lot of success with that. And in the first visit, we really spend a lot of time digging down to how does your intuition show up for you? Because we're all intuitive, but we don't all experience it in the same way. So what does it mean for you and under what circumstances? And then how do you start to interpret that information? And here's the biggie, how do you call on it and not just wait for it to happen? And then the next time we get together, we talk a lot about cultivating that intuition and coming up with a way that you automatically include it in your decision-making process, and how to bring that into interactions with other people, because there's just so much information there that when we get focused on business, we tend to ignore all the other messages that are coming. And then finally, we talk about how do you lead from that position? How do you demonstrate bringing your intuition to work and invite it from your staff to also include that and give you a gut check every now and then, or what they're really thinking or feeling about something?
Well, it seems that, I can go through hires and I can go through that. And it seems like sometimes when you slow down and you're intentional about your decision making, it allows that to come up to the surface. So I've been the type of person that can make quick decisions. I think that's an important attribute. But sometimes if you just take another second, kind of walk through it and kind of lean into that, well, how does this, what kind of sense am I getting here? Is this a positive sense or a negative sense? And I think that just that awareness, right? In anything, it's a skill that takes time to develop.
You listen to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing. We might get it, but we dismiss it or we rationalize it. And it's, when you don't bring your intuition to work, it's really like leaving half your brain in the car. Why would you do that?
Yeah. We should have this conversation with the city of Seattle. They've just enacted a new ordinance in terms of income property that a landlord must accept the first qualified applicant.
Yeah.
So as a landlord, there's times when I've had a feeling it's like, there's something that just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
And I'm, just to be totally transparent, it's never an issue of any protected class, anything like that. It's just more, trusting your gut. Every time I've overruled it, it's been a mistake. Overruled my intuition. It's been a mistake.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So what is the most common misconception about intuition?
Well, there's 2 biggies. The first one is people believe they're not intuitive, or that it doesn't count in some way, or the second one is that it's very woo-woo and it'll get laughed at in a business setting. And yet, that's how every business starts: a vision, a knowing, an inkling, that sort of thing. It does not start with a spreadsheet. Believe it or not, no business started with a spreadsheet.
Well, you think about it, it's passion, right? Where does that come from? Like a passion or a love for something. Those are feelings, those are emotions, right? And yet we bring those into our business.
Right.
Why wouldn't you use something? I think it's the word I was going to use is mysterious, right? Is intuition.
Yeah, well, and it's people are afraid they're going to be dismissed or laughed at, and I have enough experience with that to tell them it could really happen and stick to your guns.
Is it the sixth sense, or is that something different?
No, it's the sixth sense. So
Okay.
if you look at Myers-Briggs, all those personality inventories, they will tell you that there's 2 ways we learn dominantly: intuitively or sensor. It doesn't mean they're exclusive,
Right.
but we have our dominant ways of thinking. And the sensor uses the 5 senses first and foremost, and the intuitive uses their intuition.
So I think you use the term woo-woo, but
Yeah.
where would you say the intuition comes from? What is the source? I think that's where people might have conflict.
Oh, wow. Do we
'Cause we
have
see
a
our
couple of
eyes,
hours?
Hours,
right?
yeah.
Can we have a
But
couple
here's an
hours?
example: is I'm a person of faith, and yet a lot of my Christian friends would say that they would deny the spiritual world, and that's an oxymoron.
And yet,
and
aren't
so
we
they
told
deny
to
Christian
engage?
mysticism.
Right.
You know.
Aren't we to
Yeah.
engage in prayer and meditation?
Exactly.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
And
It's
yet-
just stopping and listening. So prayer, in my 10-second definition here, prayer is talking to God.
Right.
Meditation is listening to
Huh,
God, and
yeah.
that's intuition. It's listening to your gut. It's listening to your angel, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that exists just for you, for your greatest good and highest purpose. It wants no quid pro quo, and it's free.
Hmm.
Why wouldn't you?
Right.
And it's not a
Well,
religion.
yeah, it's the people that would be, I think, concerned about the source, and
It's God.
that's my thought as well. So, how has intuition helped you in your own life?
You know, I have many examples, but one that I think you'll appreciate was when my husband and I first came out here to the West Coast buying a house. We looked at a new development and where all the houses were new, and we found the one that we really liked, and the realtor said to us, that same floor plan's available down the street. Would you like to go check it out and see which lot you like better? So we said, of course, sure. And the closer we got to that house, the harder it was for me to breathe.
Oh,
Oh,
And
that's
by
a clue.
the time we got to the front porch, I just felt like I had a weight on my head, and I
Hmm.
just kept trying to protect my head so I wouldn't go in. And my husband said, "Oh, we have to see if we want to live here." And I don't want to live here. You go ahead. I'll be here. I'm not going to live here. And he asked me, "What is wrong with you?" Because I didn't really know what this was. He
Right.
sure as heck didn't. And I said, "This house isn't built right." And of course, he wanted to look at the blueprints. And I said, "It's not there. It's just not built right." And then you fast forward a few months later, we all bought houses and moved in together on that lovely street. And about 2 months later, the people who bought that house came home from work, and the master bath was in their family room below.
Whoa.
Oh no.
Now, they
Oh.
weren't home, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was. And I
Yeah.
was sitting in my family room at
Right.
that time.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I made a really good decision that day.
Yep.
Yep. Trust it. That's awesome. Thank you for that story.
You're welcome.
So, what's the number one question you're asked?
How do I know it's my intuition
Mm-hmm.
and not just me talking? And people are ready for this really long, in-depth definition, and it's really easy. Ego wants to have a conversation with you. Your brain wants to have a conversation with you, and it wants to keep you safe and small.
Hmm.
Don't try that. What will people think?
Hmm.
You know, what if
Hmm.
you fail? Heaven to Betsy, what if you fail? And intuition is short and sweet and to the point, and always positive.
Hmm. Oh,
So,
interesting.
The conversation is try it.
Hmm.
You can do this. You're good enough. Even if you're walking down the street at night and you hear run, right?
Yeah.
Short, positive, for your greatest good, run.
Yep.
So it's not hard once you realize you're in a discussion. It's no longer spirit. It's no longer God. It's no longer your intuition.
Hmm.
It's now your ego trying to keep you safe and small.
I have a friend who says she never has inner monologues or dialogue.
Really?
Is she without a soul? No, I'm just joking.
Boring, maybe. Who knows?
She's
Not
like, do
only-
people actually do that? I don't do that. I was like,
That's okay.
yeah, I do all the time.
Yeah, self-talk.
Yeah.
Keep it positive.
That's right.
She says she doesn't have that. So, yeah. I told her she was soulless. I'm just
Oh,
joking.
no. Are there other services you offer?
There are. So, in addition to working with nonprofits on fundraising and governance and strategic planning and doing a lot of facilitations, I also offer psychic mediumship, which is connecting with past loved ones or doing readings with people. I can tell them what their energy has been trying to tell them. And I'm a hypnotherapist, and I particularly love past life regressions.
Oh, wow.
Wow, Mary, we could keep going. This was a great
We could.
conversation.
Yeah, you hit on souls. We're going to need a couple hours.
Yeah, we
Couple
can.
hours.
That's
I
right.
like
That's right. Well, unfortunately, we're at the end, but I thank you very much. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
It's really easy. MaryGleason.Life. That's my website. It's my company. You can see me there. Anybody is welcome to schedule a free 30-minute discovery call. It takes you right to my calendar, and I'd love to talk with you some more if you have questions. And my email is Mary@MaryGleason.Life.
And that's GLEASON.
Correct.
All right.
Mary, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed it.
Remember, all our segments of our show are available to watch on our YouTube channel. If you're interested in learning more about any of our guests, please subscribe. Join us after the break for some final thoughts and something fun to do.